2015 marks the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest revivals of all time. Now, I know what you're saying. Didn't you do all the revivals already? You did Tic-Tac-Toe, you did The Joker's Wild, you did Family Double Dare. Is that all of them? Well, believe it or not, no. There is one more. And this is the best one of all. Let's go shopping, shall we?
Is this one of your fantasies? You see a big, beautiful supermarket, and they say to you, go ahead, do what you've always wanted to do. Run wild, grab everything you can get your hands on. Everything in this supermarket is yours, and it's all free. From Hollywood, where dreams do come true, it's the return of the one and only Supermarket Sweep. Are you ready to go shopping?
Supermarket Sweep is one of the best game shows that aired in the 1990s and the 2000s. Anybody that doesn't agree is either lying out of their ass or hasn't seen the show before. Hosted by David Ruprecht, 3 teams of 2 players played various games, either answering questions about stuff you find in the supermarket, figuring out the prices of various items you'd see, or solving various puzzles to build up their sweep time, where they get to run wild through the aisles, filling up the carts with products and grabbing big inflatable bonuses. Oddly enough, I did mention the show was a revival, so I should talk about the original. Hosted by Bill Malone, ABC took the show to various food fairs supermarkets across the country and gave people a chance to get a bunch of groceries by running wild through the aisles. This version was a lot more sedate than what we grew to love while we were young. 3 married couples would compete where the wives would price various items you find in a supermarket. The wife that is closest to the correct price gets 15 seconds added to their 1:30 base time. After 4 items and some good connections by Bill Malone, the men would run the sweep. The sweep is just like the version you know and love, but with a few differences. Instead of cash bonuses, they pick up pennants with an item attached to them, and they get the prize's value added to their grand total. Aesthetically, it's harder to see what they are grabbing, but that's because it was the mid-60s and cameras that you could easily put on your shoulder and run on didn't exist at the time or were really expensive, so they had hard cameras placed in certain spots. Aside from that, it was the same as the revival. It's still enjoyable, but if you grew up watching the revival, you'd think that this version was a state affair. Bill isn't as lively a host as David, and the announcer isn't as lively as Johnny Gilbert or Randy West, but it was still a great show. Sadly, a lot of the episodes were destroyed, but thankfully one episode does exist on YouTube, and I do suggest you check it out. Now we get to talk about the revival, which basically took the old show, modernized it, and added a whole bunch of fun things to the mix. Well then, let's get started.
And here is our host, David Ruprecht.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to our show. Now we have our teams, and one of them may be going home with $5,000.
David Ruprecht is your host, and he does an excellent job. He looks like he'd be the supervisor at your local grocery store. And when it comes to the game, he handles it smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy. Even when he had to pun his intro.
Welcome. And aren't we all glad to be here? Yes. Okay.
The meat of the show is all in its really tight but loose gameplay. Its first couple of seasons, the games were rather straightforward. Contestants start with the usual 1 minute 30 second base time and would play a variety of games. Most of them would be questions about various products you find in a mall, done in either a straightforward question and answer style, identifying a product by its slogan, or picking an answer from a list, or having to finish the jingle that David would sing, or make an animal sound regarding to the dish that David would describe. Each correct answer would add 10 seconds to their sweep time. Other games would revolve around the pricing of items, such as seeing one item and then deciding it was higher or lower than the one David gave. The more well-known one is being shown 3 items and being asked which item is over or under a certain dollar amount. Getting it right adds 10 seconds, but if everybody gets it right, bonus time is added. I love the sheer amount of variety that the show offers for the front game, especially in the earlier episodes. There seems to be a game that fits everybody's style, whether it's pricing, general grocery knowledge, proverbs, you name it, it had it. You never feel like you're bored while you're watching it. The final game is the round robin. David will list off a series of clues to an item or a brand name, sometimes with the name scrambled in front of him, and the contestants must buzz in and guess the right answer. Each correct answer is worth 10 seconds, but afterwards the contestants must switch places with their teammates. It was a great way to build up sweep time and give struggling contestants one last chance to get at least 2 minutes of sweep time. After 12 minutes of building up your sweep time, we get to the best part of the show, the big sweep. This is one of the greatest final rounds in game show history. I am dead serious.
Get set, go!
Where's Gary going? Where is he headed? Well, let's take a look. He knows. He wants the expensive black caviar, and he's getting his limit of 5. Now Ron is taking off. Well, he's not sure what to take.
The Big Sweep is just like the original, but better thanks to the better camera technology, and Johnny Gilbert's announcing on the sweep was impeccable. The rules were simple. Just run wild through the aisles and stuff your carts as much as you can, but they have a limit of 5 on various items. In 1990, there wasn't that many special items out there, save for the lobster tank, where you can only grab one of them and is worth big bucks. And don't forget the inflatable bonuses worth anywhere from $50 to $200. For the first batch of episodes, this was done really well. Until they decided to add something else into the mix.
And people, I do need to warn you to be very careful today. We have a very weird customer in our shopping supermarket today. He's, well, we like to call him Mr. Yuck. So when you see him, trust me, he's weird, and you don't want to run into him. So when you see him, turn around and run in the other direction.
During the second batch of episodes in 1990, they added a monster into the mix. If it approached you, you had to run the other way and continue shopping somewhere else. This was unneeded and created chaos all over. It was just a gimmick that didn't work. Nobody wanted to see the contestants run away from a monster while shopping. They wanted to see the contestants hold turkeys, big blocks of cheese, and giant packages of Pampers and boxes of Tide into their carts, not some goofball in a costume. They dropped this quickly, and when the third batch aired, the monsters were never seen again. The team with the most money in bonuses and merchandise wins and plays the bonus game. All they had to do was decipher 3 clues in order to find the $5,000, but they had to do it in 1 minute. The first clue is read by David to find the item and the second clue. Then that item leads to the third clue, and the third clue leads to the $5,000. This was just as exciting to watch as the Big Sweep. Sometimes the clues were easy, but when you have the pressure of running through a supermarket with the money in your head and on the line, you tend to get some really tense moments and really exciting moments too. Later on during the show's history, they would add a lot more things to the show, such as a mini sweep, the shopping list, the Big Sweep, the manager special, the 30-second shootout. There are a lot more they add to the show in later seasons, but we'll get to that when we become the Game of the 90s sometime in September or October. But for the first couple of seasons, this was amazing television. The first couple of seasons set the stage. Everybody fell in love with the show, especially Lifetime, who would have the show on their networks in new episodes until 1995, but reran the show until 1998 because of how much of a ratings winner it was. The reason why? It was a fantastic show that did everything right. The host, the announcer, the atmosphere, the gameplay, everything. It's the gold standard of what a show should be. Engaging and fun. Supermarket Sweep. A great show that should still be on the air today, either in reruns or in new episodes. Can we please get the show back on the air? Either on GSN, syndication, somewhere please? Well then, next time out, I'll talk about Trump Card. Yes, I know I said I'd do it in January, but real life got in the way. So you'll have it in March. But until then...
Remember, when you're at the checkout counter and you hear that beep, think of the fun you could have on Supermarket Sweep. Oh,